20 times lions messed with the wrong opponents. They are the kings of the jungle, but even a king can make mistakes. Discover the most jaw-dropping moments when lions tried to dominate and ended up surprised by unexpected rivals. Get ready for wild battles, incredible twists, and scenes that will leave you speechless. But before we start, make sure to subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Now, let's begin. Number 15, Lion vs. Bengal Tiger. Imagine two forces of nature facing off. On one side, the king of the savanna, the lion, on the other, the lord of the tropical forests, the Bengal tiger. Two felines that carry grand titles and absolute respect in the animal world. But when we ask who's stronger in combat, we need to analyze every detail, strength, technique, instinct, and even lifestyle. The lion. The lion didn't earn the nickname King of the Jungle for nothing, even if ironically he doesn't live in jungles but in African savannas and plains. He is a born warrior, forged by group life. Hunting in teams and defending territory are part of his daily reality. His muscular body can exceed 250 kilos, and his bite exerts nearly 700 psi of pressure, not the strongest among felines, but enough to crush bones and take down large prey. What truly sets the lion apart is his strategic courage. He faces buffaloes, giraffes, and even packs of hyenas, always with a leader's posture. His mane, besides being a symbol of power, also provides extra protection against bites and scratches aimed at the neck, a natural armor that can make the difference in direct combat. But there's a weakness. The lion is used to fighting with support. He's an excellent group warrior, but alone, he may struggle more against an equally strong rival, the Bengal tiger. Now, the tiger is a solo combat machine. He doesn't rely on a group, doesn't need support, and doesn't ask for help. From cubhood, he learns to count only on himself, and that makes him an elite predator, calculating, efficient, and deadly. Weighing up to 300 kilos, he's generally bigger than a lion, with dense muscles, a long body, and powerful hind legs that give him explosive speed. His bite is among the strongest of all felines, reaching over 1000 psi. Add to that razor-sharp claws that work like daggers, capable of ripping flesh and muscle with brutal precision. Another crucial point, the tiger hunts by ambush. He is patient, silent, and only attacks when he's certain of success. This requires control, composure, and flawless execution. In direct combat, this solitary and meticulous nature is a huge advantage. Comparison. The lion brings presence, fighting spirit, and resilience. He is explosive, fearless, and used to open confrontation. The tiger, however, is heavier, stronger in the bite, and more skilled in individual combat. In a fair fight, without ambushes, it would be an intense battle. The lion would hold up well, relying on his mane for protection and his ferocity. But little by little, the tiger's brute strength and refined technique would likely prevail. Winner, the Bengal tiger. He is heavier, stronger in the bite, and built for solitary combat, making him better adapted to face an equally powerful enemy head-on. The lion is impressive, but his greatest advantage, group life, doesn't come into play here. And you, spectator, which side would you choose? Would you bet on the bravery and presence of the lion or the meticulous, lethal strength of the tiger? Just don't say you're cheering for both, because in nature, there are no ties. Number 14, Lion vs. Brown Bear. The lion, the legendary king of the jungle, is a universal symbol of strength, courage, and majesty. He is not just a top predator, he is a natural strategist. His mane works like a real natural armor, protecting his neck and head during combat. An adult male can reach 250 kilograms, with muscles built for bursts of power and speed. His retractable, razor-sharp claws are like 7-centimeter blades, capable of tearing skin and muscle within seconds. On top of that, his bite, surpassing 650 psi, is designed to crush and immobilize, usually targeting the victim's neck. What truly gives the lion an edge is his fighting instinct. Even alone, he is fierce, but within a coalition of males, he becomes practically unstoppable. Confidence, dominance, and aggression are part of his essence. Now, on the other side enters the brown bear. And here, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about a living fortress. This giant can surpass 600 kilograms in the largest specimens and reach up to 3 meters when standing. His strength is legendary. A single single strike from his front paw can break bones as if they were twigs. His fixed claws, long and curved, reach up to 10 centimeters, perfect for ripping into trees in search of honey or flipping a 200-kilogram rock with ease. Now imagine that being used in combat. The bear's bite is even more impressive, more than 1000 psi, enough to crush skulls and pierce through the thick hide of moose. Unlike the lion, who relies on bursts of speed and technique, the bear is pure endurance, capable of withstanding long battles without losing breath. It's like comparing a nimble gladiator to a war tank. And who takes the crown in this showdown? As impressive as the lion is, here he meets an opponent bigger, heavier, and tougher. The brown bear has far greater body mass, overwhelming brute strength, and stamina that goes far beyond the big cats. The king of the jungle may try to impose respect with roars and quick strikes, but against this wall of muscle, his chances of victory drop drastically. The verdict is clear. The brown bear is the stronger in this battle. But hold on, don't think the lion lost his majesty. If this were a tournament, the bear might win this specific fight, but the lion would still remain the ultimate symbol of animal royalty. Now tell me, if you had to choose one to guard your house, would you go with the king of the jungle or the living fortress? Admit it, you're already imagining which one would claim the sofa in your living room first, right? Number 13, lion versus Kodiak bear. Imagine placing two giants of the animal kingdom face to face. On one side, the lion, the king of the jungle, symbol of power, courage, and leadership. On the other, the Kodiak bear, a true titan of Alaska's frozen forests. A brute force monster that seems straight out of a tale of giants. This is not a real fight, of course, but a duel of attributes, where we'll weigh every physical and behavioral detail. The lion enters with grandeur. His mane is not just a majestic ornament, it's a natural shield, protecting his neck from fatal bites. He weighs between 180 and 250 kilograms, reaching up to 3 meters in length, including the tail. His bite exceeds 650 psi, and his claws are retractable daggers, perfectly suited to tear through skin and flesh with ease. On top of that, the lion is a natural strategist. He hunts in groups, coordinates attacks, and can burst into speeds of up to 80 km/h over short distances. His ace is agility combined with ferocity. Now look at the Kodiak bear, a colossus standing up to 3 meters tall when upright, weighing more than 600 kilograms, and in some rare cases, nearly a ton. His strength is legendary. A single strike of his front paw can crush bones like twigs. His bite, exceeding 1000 psi, is made to pierce through carcasses and grind thick bones. His claws, unlike the lion's, are not retractable but measure up to 10 centimeters. Fixed blades used for digging as well as tearing. He may not match a feline's speed, but he makes up for it with endurance, sheer mass, and almost unbeatable brutality. In combat terms, the lion brings mobility, technique, and bursts of aggression, while the Kodiak bear is a muscle-bound tank advancing like a wall. In endurance, the bear dominates. He can withstand strikes and cuts and still stand tall. In raw strength, there's no competition. It's like comparing an Olympic weightlifter with a sprinter. For the lion to win, he would need extremely precise strikes aimed at vital areas, an almost impossible feat against such a massive opponent shielded by thick layers of fat and muscle. So who is stronger? As legendary as the lion is, in this duel the crown goes to the Kodiak bear. His size, weight, immense strength, and superior bite power make the forest giant practically unbeatable in a head-to-head clash. But what about you, spectator? Would you bet on the king of the jungle or the titan of Alaska? Because watching this clash of titans feels like witnessing a meeting of raw strength and wild royalty. I know, you're probably rooting for the lion after all. He's the documentary icon, but admit it, the Kodiak bear just earned your respect, didn't he? Number 12, lion versus polar bear. Now imagine two forces of nature staring each other down. The king of the African savanna against the supreme predator of the Arctic. On one side, the lion, symbol of royalty, courage, and group strategy. On the other, the polar bear, the largest land carnivore on Earth, a titan of muscle and fat adapted to survive where almost nothing else can. Two different worlds, two kings of extreme environments brought together in a clash of power, strength, and endurance. The lion brings with him a formidable combination: agile muscles, feline reflexes, and the iconic mane that, besides impressing, protects his neck in battles. He weighs between 180 and 250 kilograms, with canines about 8 centimeters long, capable of crushing bones. But his greatest weapon is his explosive speed, up to 80 km/h in short bursts. He is an ambush predator, used to taking on buffaloes, giraffes, and even hippos in group hunts. Alone, however, the lion must rely on precision. He depends on quick strikes, using agility to bite at the throat or back of his opponent. Now let's look at the polar bear, a true colossus of the ice. Adult males can surpass 600 kilograms, reaching up to 3 meters when standing. His paw is a natural weapon. A single strike can dislocate bones, while his sharp claws serve as icy daggers. His teeth, even larger than the lion's, were made to pierce through the thick hides of seals and walruses. Furthermore, the polar bear is incredibly resilient, capable of swimming for kilometers in freezing waters, proof of his ability to endure long periods of physical strain. If the lion is explosive power, the polar bear is brute resilience. Comparing the two in a hypothetical duel, the difference in weight and stamina is overwhelming. The lion would have the edge in agility and precision strikes, but the polar bear compensates with size, crushing strength, and sheer physical power that turns any fight into a test of survival. In a direct confrontation, it's like comparing an elite athlete with a war tank. And the verdict? As much as the lion reigns over the savanna, against an adult polar bear, he would be outmatched in strength, stamina, and reach. The polar bear takes the crown in this clash. But what about you, spectator? Be honest, have you imagined how epic it would be to see these two colossi face to face? On one side, the roar that echoes across African plains. On the other, the white wall of the Arctic. I bet you've already chosen your favorite deep down, but did you really have the courage to put your money on the lion against this frozen monster? Number 11, lion versus Nile crocodile. From the rivers, two legends emerge. On one side, the lion, the symbol of courage and leadership. On the other, the Nile crocodile, a Jurassic machine of muscle, armor, and bone-crushing jaws. Neither needs an introduction, but let's break down what each brings to the battlefield. The lion predator of the land, weighing up to 250 kilograms of pure power, the lion is built to hunt large herbivores. With a bite force around 650 psi, explosive speed, and razor-sharp retractable claws, he is a master of ambush. Lions combine strength with intelligence, accustomed to group hunting, but still fearsome alone. Agile and relentless, they face buffalo, giraffes, and even hippos on the African plains. Courage and combat instinct are written into the lion's very essence. The Nile crocodile, the aquatic tank now. The crocodile plays on a different level, stretching over 5 meters and weighing more than 600 kilograms. It is an armored titan. Its bite force reaches a staggering 3,700 psi, almost 6 times that of the lion, able to crush bones like twigs. Its skin is covered in bony scales called osteoderms, natural steel plates that make superficial attacks nearly useless. On land, it is slower and less agile, but in the water, it is a ghost, silent, quick, and lethal. When it strikes, it unleashes the infamous death roll, spinning its entire body to shred flesh and break bones. Head-to-head comparison. Raw strength, clear advantage for the crocodile. Agility and stamina. The lion dominates on land. Natural defense. The crocodile's armor outclasses the lion's skin. Combat intelligence. The lion uses strategy, but the crocodile thrives on patience and ambush. Territory, the decisive factor. In the water, the crocodile is virtually invincible. On dry open land, the lion has more room to maneuver. The verdict. In pure combat terms, the Nile crocodile holds the upper hand. Its overwhelming bite, armored body, and sheer power make it nearly impossible for the lion to find a weakness. Even with sharp claws and agility, the king of the savanna would struggle to overcome this reptilian giant. In this duel, the crown belongs to the Nile crocodile. But tell me, would you dare bet on the lion if the fight happened on the riverbank? Or would you side with the crocodile, confident that in water he is almost unbeatable? Sometimes even the king of the jungle discovers that outside his domain, the crown weighs too heavy. Number 10, lion versus saltwater crocodile. Now imagine two titans of nature, each ruling their own kingdom, standing face to face in a hypothetical duel. The lion, king of the African savannas, and the saltwater crocodile, the monster of the rivers, estuaries, and seas of Southeast Asia and Oceania. Two colossal predators, two masterpieces of evolution, perfectly honed for hunting, but in completely different worlds. What happens if we pit them against each other? The lion king of the land. The lion's reputation precedes him. Known as the king of the jungle, despite ruling the savanna, he is a combination of power, agility, and raw ferocity. An adult male can exceed 250 kilograms, with muscles sculpted for explosive speed and combat. His canines, reaching up to 8 centimeters, can pierce thick hides and crush bones. His claws, razor sharp and retractable, act like natural blades, tearing through tough prey. On land, the lion is lightning fast in short bursts, reaching 80 km/h, but that speed cannot last long, making him dependent on quick, decisive attacks. His stamina is limited, but his aggression and courage more than make up for it. Territorial and bold, he does not back down, even against larger beasts like buffalo or hippos. This mix of audacity and strength cements him as the symbol of terrestrial dominance. The saltwater crocodile, emperor of the waters. On the other side is one of the most feared predators alive, the saltwater crocodile, often called a living dragon. The largest reptile on Earth, it can exceed 6 meters in length and weigh over a ton, a living armored tank. Its greatest weapon? Its bite. At more than 3,700 psi, it is the most powerful bite force of any living animal. Once its jaws close, there is no escape. Its armor-like skin, covered with bony osteoderms, is almost impenetrable to claws and teeth. In water, the saltwater crocodile is unstoppable. Silent, swift, and precise, it waits with endless patience before striking. Its signature move is the death roll, spinning violently to rip apart flesh or tear prey into pieces. It is also a formidable swimmer, capable of long journeys across open seas. On land, however, it is less agile. It can lunge quickly in short bursts, but it lacks the lion's speed and stamina. Direct comparison: raw strength. The crocodile wins with its unmatched bite and sheer mass, agility, and speed on land. The lion is faster and more maneuverable. Natural defense. The crocodile's armor far surpasses the lion's exposed skin. Territory. The lion rules the savanna. The crocodile is emperor in the water. Combat intelligence. The lion is strategic, while the crocodile relies on patience and ambush. Who is stronger? In the water, the saltwater crocodile is nearly unbeatable. On land, the lion has more chances with his agility and speed, but overall, when weighing raw power, defense, and attack capability, the crocodile emerges as the stronger of the two. And you, spectator, what would you choose? Dive into crocodile-infested waters, or face a lion head-to-head on the savanna? Either way, it's like choosing between a living tank and a gladiator armed with claws. Perhaps the wisest option is to admire both from a safe distance. Number 9. Lion versus African python. The lion, the famed king of the jungle, though his true kingdom is the savanna, is raw power combined with hunting strategy. While lionesses are the master hunters, the male lion carries immense presence. With jaws capable of crushing bone, claws like natural blades, and muscles built for bursts of speed, he is a predator without equal. Weighing between 180 and 250 kilograms, an adult male can topple prey much larger than himself. His roar alone can intimidate animals he doesn't even intend to hunt. Facing him is the African python, one of the largest snakes on the continent. Lacking venom, it relies entirely on brute strength. Once it coils around its prey, it applies crushing pressure, cutting off blood circulation until the heart stops beating. Reaching lengths of more than 6 meters, it can swallow antelopes whole, its jaws stretching to limits that defy imagination. Patient and silent, the python waits for the perfect moment to strike. So who wins in this showdown? The lion, with his claws, teeth, and agility, has the advantage. He is fast enough to avoid the coils and strong enough to deliver fatal wounds quickly. The python's only chance is if the lion makes a mistake. One wrong move and it could wrap him in its deadly embrace. But in a fair fight, the lion's explosiveness and killing tools give him the upper hand. Now tell me, if you had to face one of these creatures, would you choose the python's crushing embrace or the lion's majestic ferocity? Deep down, you already know, in this battle, the lion would roar away as the champion. Number 8. Lion versus Black Mamba. Imagine an unlikely duel. On one side, the king of the savanna, the lion, with his imposing mane and jaws capable of crushing bones. On the other, the dreaded black mamba, one of the fastest and deadliest snakes in the world. But hold on, we're not describing a bloody fight, rather analyzing who would have the advantage in this clash of skills. The lion brings brute strength, short distance speed, and a bite strong enough to break a shell. He easily weighs over 180 kilos, has sharp claws, and predator reflexes. His endurance is another trump card. He can withstand serious injuries and keep fighting, not to mention his sheer size intimidates any opponent. The black mamba, however, plays on a different field: agility, precision, and venom. It can reach up to 20 km/h in short bursts and is capable of striking repeatedly within seconds. Its bite injects a neurotoxin that paralyzes and quickly kills smaller animals. It's an instant death sentence. It doesn't rely on strength, but on chemical lethality and the strategy of strike and retreat. So, who would win? Despite the mamba's deadly venom, the lion's size makes all the difference. If the snake managed to land multiple bites, the king could succumb. But in a direct encounter, the odds favor the lion, since a single strike or bite is enough to turn the mamba into prey. And now, tell me, if you had to place a bet, would you go with the lion's colossal strength or the mamba's lethal venom? Careful, choosing wrong here could be as dangerous as sitting in the tall grass of the savanna without looking down. Number 7. Lion versus King Cobra. The lion, king of the savannas, enters the scene with his majestic mane and unshakable confidence. With defined muscles and sharp reflexes, he is an ambush predator. His roar not only echoes across his territory, but also signals that he fears no one. In combat, the lion uses his sharp claws and powerful bites to dominate prey much larger than himself. His physical strength is brutal, capable of bringing down antelopes, buffaloes, and even facing packs of hyenas. On top of that, his tough hide provides some protection against bites and smaller attacks. The king cobra, although it lacks the same size or brute force, is a master of venom and intimidation. Reaching up to 5.5 meters in length, it is the largest venomous snake in the world. It's not aggressive without reason, but when threatened, it raises a third of its body, spreads its hood, and hisses menacingly. Its neurotoxic venom attacks the nervous system and can kill an elephant with multiple bites. It is agile, precise, and extremely dangerous at close range. A single well-placed bite can mean the end, so who wins? If the lion lands a quick attack, his chances are high, but if the king cobra manages to bite in the right spot, the lion could fall quickly. Still, considering the lion's agility, strength, resilience, and experience dealing with many types of prey and predators, he holds a slight advantage. Winner, the lion. He is more versatile, resistant, and has greater chances of surviving a deadly encounter with the king cobra. And what about you? Do you think the king of the jungle really keeps his crown, or should the queen of snakes take the victory? Maybe you side with the scales, or maybe with the mane. Either way, one thing is certain: nature is a battlefield where every creature has its weapons and strategies. Choose your champion and imagine this epic showdown in your mind. Number 6. Lion versus male orangutan. The lion, king of the savanna, is the definition of raw power. An adult male reaches 250 kilograms, with jaws strong enough to crush bones, razor-sharp claws, and a roar that thunders across the land. His body is built for group hunting, but even alone, he's an unstoppable predator, capable of bringing down prey bigger than himself. Speed, strength, and killer instinct. The lion is a pure war machine. On the other side, the male orangutan is a colossus of the Asian jungles. Heavier than most imagine, weighing up to 120 kilograms, he has enormous arms capable of lifting nearly twice his own weight. He doesn't wield deadly weapons like the lion, but intelligence makes up for it. Orangutans use tools, plan movements, and possess arm strength strong enough to snap branches like twigs. But in a direct confrontation, the orangutan has no chance against the natural predator that is the lion. The king of the jungle keeps his crown with ease. And now, tell me, would you bet your life on the lion's brute strength or the orangutan's intelligence and mighty arms? I bet you're already thinking about which one you'd like as your bodyguard. Number 5. Lion versus Brazilian wandering spider. The lion is the king of the savannas, with jaws that can crush bones with over 600 kilograms of pressure and claws that rip through thick hide like paper. Strength, speed, and endurance make him a true land combat machine. Meanwhile, the Brazilian wandering spider, despite lacking colossal muscles or an intimidating roar, carries within its small body a devastating venom, capable of paralyzing and even killing a grown human. Its reflexes are lightning fast, its fangs inject neurotoxins in milliseconds, and its agility makes it a treacherous adversary in the most important detail. Venom doesn't depend on size, it depends on efficiency. But here's the key point. For its toxin to affect the lion, the spider would need to land a bite, something nearly impossible against the lion's thick fur and massive body. Meanwhile, a single swipe of the paw would be enough to turn it into dust. Result, the throne remains intact and the winner is the lion. So spectator, confess, did you also picture the tiny warrior trying to stand up to the king? Well, in the animal kingdom, size really does matter. Number 4, lion versus giant African scorpion. Imagine an unlikely clash between two titans of nature, the majestic lion and the giant African scorpion. The lion, known as the king of the jungle, carries with it brutal strength, powerful muscles, sharp claws, and a bite of up to 600 psi, strong enough to crush bones with ease. On top of that, its feline agility and lightning reflexes make it a natural-born predator. But on the other side, we have the giant African scorpion, a fearsome arthropod that doesn't rely on brute force, but on venom. Its stinger carries a neurotoxic poison capable of paralyzing prey much larger than itself, not to mention its robust pincers that can grip and injure any opponent. In combat, the lion would have the physical advantage, being able to crush the scorpion with a single paw strike. However, the scorpion, fast and low to the ground, could try to slip through and land its sting. The question is, would the venom act quickly enough to neutralize the feline before being smashed? The answer is clear. The lion, with its colossal size and resilience, wins the duel. The scorpion is deadly to smaller creatures, but against a predator of this magnitude, its toxin would hardly be enough. Now tell me, would you bet on the tiny venomous one or on the king who rules with claw and bite? After all, in nature, even giants must respect the small, but in this case, the throne stays with the lion. Number 3, lion versus mountain gorilla. Lion versus mountain gorilla, two natural titans in a battle that doesn't need blood to show the greatness of what each represents. On one side, the lion, the king of the jungle. It's no coincidence that it carries this title. Muscles sculpted for hunting, paws capable of delivering blows with up to 400 kilograms of force, and fangs that work like living daggers. Beyond that, it's a born hunter, a master of coordination and reading prey movement. Its senses are invisible weapons, night vision, keen smell, and reflexes worthy of an elite predator. On the other side, the mountain gorilla, a colossus of brute strength. Imagine a being weighing over 200 kilograms of solid muscle, with long arms capable of lifting logs and delivering bone-crushing blows. A gorilla doesn't rely on sharp fangs to intimidate, its raw power alone is a sentence. And then there's intelligence, which makes it a unique adversary, able to use nearby objects, understand strategies, and even apply grappling-like moves that resemble a human fighter's techniques. In theory, it's predator versus powerhouse. The lion is fast, lethal, and instinctive, but the gorilla possesses near superhuman strength and remarkable endurance. Who wears the crown? The mountain gorilla. Its brute force, combined with intelligence and the ability to withstand devastating impacts, places it a step above. And you, viewer, can you imagine this scene? The king loses his crown to the giant of the mountain. But be careful, before you go around saying the gorilla is invincible, remember, in nature, every fight is unique, and hesitation costs dearly. Now tell me, would you place your bet on the king of the jungle or the mountain brute? Number 2, lion versus spotted hyena in a clan. The lion is the very embodiment of savanna royalty, a muscular body that can exceed 190 kilograms, armed with jaws able to crush bones as if snapping dry twigs. And it's not just brute strength, its roar can travel up to 8 kilometers, intimidating enemies before the first clash. Retractable claws, predator reflexes, and a fearless armor of courage make it the king of the jungle. Even though it lives on the savanna, it is a high-performance lone combatant, a feline tank ready for battle. battle. But here come the spotted hyenas, and not just one, but an entire clan. Here lies the difference. While the lion relies on individual power, hyenas rely on collective intelligence. A single hyena weighs between 70 and 90 kilograms, with jaws even stronger than a lion's, capable of crushing thick bones like biscuits. They are tireless, opportunistic, and capable of surrounding and wearing down even the mightiest of felines. The key is in numbers. One hyena may retreat, but a clan of 10, 15, or 20 turns into a coordinated machine of destruction. While the lion carries the crown, hyenas remind us that no throne is absolute. With impressive stamina, they can run long distances without tiring, cackling in unison like a macabre choir. Intelligent, strategic, and highly united, they take turns and wear the opponent down, creating openings until victory is inevitable. Who wins? If it were one hyena against one lion, the feline would reign without question. But against a clan, the power of numbers speaks louder. The king may roar, may fight like a warrior, but in the end, the math doesn't lie. The strength of many surpasses the glory of one. In this scenario, the throne shakes, and the clan of spotted hyenas comes out victorious. And you, viewer, have you thought about this? It's like playing a video game match alone against an entire opposing team. You might be the star, the best player on the field, but when that avalanche of coordinated opponents comes, things get complicated. Now tell me, would you be on the side of the lone king or the laughing army of hyenas? Number 1. Lion versus African wild dogs in a pack. The lion, undisputed king of the savanna, carries within it brute strength concentrated in muscles, sharp fangs, and a bite exceeding 600 psi, enough to crush bones like twigs. With its imposing mane, it's not only intimidating, but also protected from bites to the neck. In direct combat, a single strike from its paw, capable of knocking down even a young buffalo, could send a smaller opponent flying. Solitary yet confident, it's the embodiment of wild royalty, entering the arena of danger knowing few dare challenge it face to face. But on the other side, we have African wild dogs. Not one, not two, but an entire army of synchronized predators. These canines don't play solo. They work as a team with elite discipline. They may lack the lion's individual strength, but they excel in endurance, intelligence, and, above all, pack unity, capable of running long distances at speeds of nearly 60 km/h. They surround, confuse, and wear down prey much larger than themselves. With sharp jaws and collective hunger, they're true strategists of the wild, turning any battle into a numbers game. If it were a one-on-one fight, lion versus a single African wild dog, there would be no doubt the lion would crush it effortlessly. But the key here is the power of collectivity. While the lion bets on brute force and individual endurance, wild dogs rely on teamwork, strategy, and coordinated attacks. The lion is a fortress, but the pack is a storm of small blades that never stop biting. Result, in a clash of pure strength, the lion is the undisputed champion. But when we talk about real-life combat in the savanna, where the pack is patient, resilient, and relentless, the collective power of African wild dogs tips the balance. One-on-one, the king wins. In the survival game of group warfare, the crown can fall. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed our content, make sure to subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Also, check out other interesting videos that are popping up on your screen right now, and I'll see you in the next one. Until next time.